In this video, we are going to look into widgets, or navigation widgets. This is what you see here in the corner of my screen. Those elements were previously available and fixed. At the bottom here, we were used to have a triad that we can recall if needed using the burger menu here available. Each of these navigation widgets have access to a home button, allowing you to go back to the default axonometry or open that specific widget setting. In this setting, you will be able to change and combine multiple widgets or set one, and of course adjust the size. In this menu, you also have access to a cogwheel that will allow you to activate additional location or deactivate current location for this widget to be displayed. If you were to deactivate all of them and wonder how you can actually bring them back, when you go to Vision, Options, and Navigation Widget, you can here turn them all off, or simply, using the cogwheel, activate or deactivate any of them. Among these navigation widgets, the View Cube is the one that offers most flexibility and link functions. First, here, when you place your cursor on top, you see that you can interact with the face, the corners, and the edges. And for each of them, you will have access to different options. Basically, mouse clicks and with configuration with control, by holding, and so on. The common settings are left click, middle click, and right click. Left click will simply orient the view according to the face, the corner, or the edge or corner that you click on. Middle click will simply give you the opposite view. So by simply left clicking and middle clicking on a cube, you can rotate 80 degrees. When you are in a view that is perpendicular to one of the face, you will see additional option here to the side that allows you to actually turn around your model in all different directions. And one here is pretty interesting to look into, and this is the view along Z. When you look at the model from the top down, like in the top view representation, you will have two additional icons available. Those will simply allow you to orient your model the best you want, and according to its shape to maximize the size on screen, or simply in order for you to orient the floor plan correctly before doing, for example, a basic export or a clipboard. Clicking on the house, again, as we said, will bring you back the standard axonometry. One thing that is also interesting about the view orientation, if I were to only keep this active, and I'm going simply to zoom with my shift lasso right on that post. And I would like to keep my zoom, but turn around the model. So here, since this is the only element visible, it's going to fill the whole screen. But what if I wanted to actually keep this visible? By actually using the right click when selecting the view, you are simply going to rotate by keeping the current zoom, and this in all directions for all the different options we talked about. One of the other interesting options with this widget is the ability to enter a 2D plane when clicking on the face of the cube. The only thing that you will have to do is make sure that you have an element activated in order to use this active point as a reference point. So here I have an active point that is on the outside of that post, in the middle of that edge. If I were to click here on that face using Control left click, I will enter a 2D plane in that face. If I were to click with middle click or control middle click, I will go in that face, but with the opposite view, the same as going here and pressing W. So it really allows you for a really quick and easy 2D plane orientation. Even when you are working in a 2D plane, you can still use this. For example, here, if I would like to work on the top of my girt, let's say adding some banister and things like this, I will simply need to activate my element with an active point on the face I want to use as a reference. And here I can simply rotate my model on my 2D planes. So here I will simply left click on the Y, and it's simply a 90-degree rotation, but I'm still in a 2D plane. And here I'm in a 2D plane basically between the plating and the girt. If I were to add a surface as reference, and go back in 3D, we will have a better understanding of the 2D plane I was now in. So I went from a 2D plane aligned with this, on this one, with a single click, without having to go back in 3D, selecting my plane again, and placing that once more. So I hope this widget will be a great help for you, either to orient your model, or simply to improve the way you are working and going from one 2D plane to another. One trick here to keep in mind is how you can easily change the location of an active point. The active point, for those of you who don't know, is added when you left click on an element. So basically when you start a selection. If I were to continue my selection by adding right click, I could then move my active point to any other element using control right click. So you can place an active point, set an active face, or an active edge. It simply depends on where you click. And the other thing that this is where it's really useful is when you select with lasso. Because with lasso, there is no first left click. So there is no active point on that current selection. So when working with lasso, it will be important for you to keep in mind this option. So like this, you can easily place an active point and then do whatever you want afterwards. I hope this will help, and thank you for watching.